I save up the money, I get the sunglasses. And I remember the anticipation of being able to get the sunglasses at the end of the summer was better than the sunglasses ever were. In fact, it was so good, I literally never wore them because I was so afraid of losing them because I'd spent so long to save them, which was also a great lesson in, like, sometimes you gotta just learn to spend money and enjoy what you spend. A different thing for a different time. But that being said, you also benefit from that customer anticipation when you set up the payment this way. So there's a lot of benefits to doing this way. And the biggest one of all, you risk nothing. They pay before you deliver anything. And so you get to have the cash before you have to risk delivery. So those are all different ways that you can accelerate cash flow in the business. I'll give you a, let's see here, do I have any more notes that I wanted to go over? Yeah, I was gonna give you guys some rules of thumbs for like different kind of conversion metrics. So one of the simple ones would be like, if you're doing, the thing is there's so many variations. So it's like, if you're closing off of meta leads for in-person, it's like you should close 10% of the leads that you have. So you get 100 leads for an in-person service business, you should close about 10%. If you're above that, amazing. If you're below that, you probably have some opportunity for improvement. If you're closing off cold webinar leads, if you're selling to broader markets, you're probably looking at 2 to 3% conversion of those leads, as in webinar opt-ins to sales. If you are a little bit more niched, then that can go up to 5% of leads. The craziest I've ever seen. And like, again, that's leads, not shows, right? Or people who are there during the offer. That's just overall, like you had 100 people opt in for a webinar, all right? If you have a salesperson that's in person, right? If you're going to someone's home, again, my rule of thumb with salespeople in general with a proper sales process is 35%. I would like them to close at least 1 out of 3 of the prospects that they're getting in touch with. Typically, if it's higher than that, I will raise price. If it's below that, then I will fix the process before I would even consider lowering the price. Web pages, most times it's gonna be between 1 and 2% in terms of conversion rate on those pages. I'll give you a fun factoid for school. So I think school right now is at like 4%. It's really good for school about pages. And it's because when you have trust in a platform, that starts to increase your conversion overall. So I'll give you a wild example on this. Again, these are rules of thumb. My Amazon page for my books, so like offers, for example, this is the last time I looked, we convert roughly a quarter of the traffic that hits that page. Think how crazy it is. 1 out of 4 clicks buys. Now, what you trade off when you have a platform like an Amazon, right, is that I'm not making all that money. Amazon's basically making all the money and then like paying me a small commission. And so you just have to play with the numbers there, which is like, okay, instead of it being 25%, I'm getting 2.5%, so I'm getting 10x the conversion per click, and I might be getting 1/3 the gross profit. Is it worth it? Yeah, I'm still making 3 times as much money, right? But you just have to understand the difference between those things. So those are just a handful of rules of thumb that I have followed that have served me well in business, in services, in order to scale. And so I'll leave you with a final rule number 9, which is I'm filling the holes back up for rule number 9. Anybody remember Love Potion number 9? I might be dating myself. That was a movie. You can Google it. Anyways, I'll bring this up, which is this. Industry averages are dumb. And so what do I mean by that? The amount of times I've had a conversation where someone says, hey, manufacturing, these margins are pretty good for manufacturing. Or, hey, our margins are this in our industry. It's like, if the average American is in debt, divorced twice, overweight, and just mid as fuck, right? Why would I want to have that be my bar to compare myself against? You say you have this, so many business owners have this hatred for their competition. They hate their competition, they want to crush their competition, and yet you want to measure yourself by the same stick that your competition measures themselves? Well, it's a great way to be average, right? Is use averages as your determination of whether or not you're good. And so I would highly encourage you to just ignore averages altogether and play to win. And that is just something that has really served me well, which is like I'll come into a space and we'll say, well, you'll learn, I don't know if you guys have seen this clip of Tiger Woods when he's doing his first interview before his first Masters or something. And the guy's like, he's like, well, how do you